Race 2 in the season opener at Oschersleben, Mirko Bortolotti on pole position, having finished second in race 1. Alongside him, Luca Stolz in the Mercedes as the race roared into life. Round 1 winner in the Ferrari on day 1 had been Jack Aitken. He was third on the grid and right behind the pair of them. A good start from Stolz. Then he fell into the clutches though of Aitken. There was contact between them. The Ferrari of Aitken sent out wide. And out of the dust, he lost more and more traction, slipping down the order by 3 or 4 places on the run out of turn 2. Bortolotti leading from Luca Stolz. Luca Engstler into third place, having qualified a brilliant 4th in the Lamborghini. Then more drama at turn 3 involving Maximilian Powell and Jack Aitken, the championship leader, caught out. The former champion Sheldon van der Linde also involved in that. The trigger of it, a right rear puncture on the Ferrari following that early contact with Luca Stolz. So dramatic action here. This was how it looked from Mirko Bortolotti's perspective. The Ferrari and the Mercedes coming together, and that was where the damage was done to the tyre, which deflated and then triggered the next accident at turn 3. Also involved in that was Lucas Auer. There was a lot of damage to the front right corner of his Mercedes. Plenty more battles still to come though, and a really brutal one involving René Rast and Clement Schmidt. René, the 3-time champion in the blue BMW, Clement Schmidt, having got a point in the debut for the Dürr Motorsport McLaren, was battling, and also with them the remaining Ferrari of Thierry Vermeulen. 3 abreast they ran on the run into the left hand of the Ferrari on the inside, but the BMW on the outside, both of them squeezing either side of the McLaren, and there was more to come as Vermeulen dived down the inside of René Rast into turn 2, but then they came together and the Ferrari was sent spearing at high speed into the barrier. A big crash for the young Dutch driver, smoke pouring out the back of the Ferrari. Thankfully he was okay, but there the coming together, 2 didn't fit into 1. The Ferrari coming off worst and exiting the race in spectacular fashion. A really disappointing day for the Emil Frey Racing Squad. A win on Saturday, both cars out on Sunday, and no longer signed up to the René Rast fan club was Thierry Vermeulen. More drama to come though. First SSR performance that had a problem with the wheel nut on Nicky Tim's car, which had dropped him out of the top 6. And then the same thing happened to Mirko Bortolotti, losing a huge amount of time in the pits. The race lead gone, and he dropped way down the order. There was also drama for Maximilian Powell, last to pit. This time it was a problem with the front of the car. They hadn't got the wheel nut on in time. The car was dropped off the jacks and released. They knew straight away that it was loose, and he was called to a stop. So Maximilian Powell, who looked like he was going to get a top 8 result out of this pit stop strategy, dejected but still graceful enough to tap the shoulder of his mechanic and console him. The 2 that had come out on top during that pit stop phase when the full course yellow had come out, but just before the full course yellow, had been this pair. Luca Engstler went from 3rd to 1st, and Maro Engel, having started 10th in the Mercedes, was right behind him all the way to the flag, but it was victory for young Luca Engstler. His dad, Franz Engstler, was also back in the day a winner here at Oschersleben in the DTM. So in only his 9th weekend, he took a victory. And Ricardo Feller gave us more drama. An electrical failure out of the last corner dropped him from 5th place down to 9th. The driver that finished 3rd on day 1, ending the weekend in disappointment. But what joy for Luca Engstler. A tremendous drive on his 9th weekend of DTM, his first weekend with the Grasser Racing team, first weekend as a Lamborghini driver, and now a race winner in the DTM, and also walking away from Oschersleben as the championship leader by a single point. Maro Engel and Luca Stolz join him on the podium. A great weekend for Arjun Maini, finishing in 4th place. Kelvin van der Linde, a much better day for 5th. A great recovery drive from Sheldon van der Linde to come home in the top 6. But what disappointment for Mirko Bortolotti and Jack Aitken after their brilliant Saturdays. They'll hope for better next time out at the Lausitz Ring.